Thank you very much for watching. I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers, joined by Rich, the rugby analyst. How you doing, Rich?
Very well. Very excited for this, Tim. You've got a bit of fun and games lined up for me here. I can sit back and enjoy.
Well, we've just had a really good chat about the Rugby Championship coming up, this weekend's fixtures, and putting it in context with the World Cup looming as well. So you can find that video on Rich's channel. Go and subscribe there to Rugby Analyst. Hit subscribe here if you haven't already, because there's loads of rugby content coming. And to build up to the Rugby Championship, and before a ball has been kicked, a try has been scored, let's pick a combined 15, taking all of the players from all of the four teams and trying to condense them into one 15-man side, because I think this could reveal where the strengths and weaknesses may lay in the teams overall, Rich. So I've got a little spreadsheet here just to remind me of all of the players. So like you say, you can sit back and just chill. Start with number one. And who gets your vote here? Because you've got Vivas, Gallo, Ruiz for Argentina, Alan Alalatoa, Ethan de Groot, Offa Tuangafasi, and then you look at South Africa and Stephen Kitsoff. Is that the obvious choice?
Yep, that's the one. Next.
All right then.
I think so. I think it's Kitsoff.
I think so. You mentioned on our previous video how good the New Zealand hookers are playing, but is this a shootout at hooker between Julian Montoya and Malcolm Marx?
Yeah, I got three names. I had three names written down. Marx and Montoya was absolutely two of them, and Takiaho was the third. I'm a Takiaho man. Taylor's very good, playing well, but Takiaho's got the firepower for me. So I'll be happy with either. As a starter, this is a starting team, I'm probably going Montoya just because, the leadership, the set piece, he's got everything, very reliable. I'd probably take one of the other two as my impact guy off the bench, but that's not what we're doing. So, Montoya.
Tighthead prop. I found this a little bit trickier, to be honest, because those Argentinians are really decent. Someone like Taniela Tupu, quite often used in an impact capacity for Australia. Could this be a breakout World Cup for him? Would he get the start? You've got some really good options for New Zealand. And then Frans Malherbe, an immovable object.
Tupo's been unlucky. He's not got the starts. He's got injured at the wrong times. If he'd been lucky, he could easily be one of the best, if not the best, tight head in the world. But there's just not enough evidence for me to go on. If you're going to start a guy who's going to be the best scrummager in the world, it's Malherbe.
Yeah, you can understand why he makes the cut. What I would say is, and we touched on how you called, I think rightly, that New Zealand are dark horses. I'm going to say that I think by the end of the World Cup, one of those New Zealand tight heads might be. In fact, I think the New Zealand props overall could be, their stock could rise significantly over the next few months. So that's one to keep an eye on. But definitely, Frans Malherbe in the second row then.
Yeah.
Well, Eben Etzebeth is getting a jersey. There's no question there. He is the best lock-in in world rugby.
Well, he's getting a jersey, but in my rugby art there, he's lost his there.
What a freak of a man he is.
Exactly.
But so I think I'm right in saying Will Skelton has won more Champions Cups than any other player ever. And
wow, okay.
It's won 4, 2 with Saracens, 2 with La Rochelle. No one's done that before. And the impact that he has on the teams that he plays for is quite remarkable. There's a bit of me tempted to go with just 2 absolute mutants and go with those two.
Scare the crap out of me, yeah.
Terrifying.
I mean, the guy who I'd put in that,
go on.
The guy who I thought maybe should start, he's Brodie Retallick, because every year I say maybe he'll slow down this year, and every year he's as good, if not a bit better. He was phenomenal this year in Super Rugby. I mean, I watched one game and he's doing all his normal dog work, his line out, and then he took the ball to the line, sidestepped one guy, offloaded and created a try out of nothing. And it's like, Well, I don't think Skelton's doing that, but so I'd probably just go Retallick for that. But I mean, I'd be scared to have Skelton and Etzebeth for sure. But you are the adjudicator here, Tim. What's your call?
Right at this point, and this is what will be quite good to revisit this in a few weeks' time when we've seen the Rugby Championships games pan out. It'd be interesting to revisit this and do it again. But yeah, let's go with known quantities at this level: Retallick, Etzebeth, and that is to complete our front five and take us into the back row.
I talked you around.
Where, I mean, we could go through all the different contenders, and maybe you could chuck some of those in to me. But when I look at the back row options, I end up with Matera, PSDT, RD Surveyor. You have two outstanding players, and RD Surveyor, who with those two doing all that work and hitting all those, trucking it up and smashing people, RD Surveyor can just go and do crazy things. But then am I being unfair to Michael Hooper and guys like that?
I don't think so. He's a very good player on this season. He's very good. I don't know if he'd be straight in the team. I'll say one thing for our South African followers: Steph Toy is a proper seven. He is a proper South African seven. Maybe not an archetypal seven for other countries.
Yeah.
I'll chuck a couple more names in there. I'll make my case for Gonzalez of Argentina, who is an absolute phenomenal athlete. I mean, for some sheer speed. If you want to get some speed in that back row, some extra speed, he's a real baller. And 8, maybe the form 8, I would say, is Valetini of Australia. He has got better and better and better, and he is a ball-carrying beast. Although, it pains me not to have an RD Surveyor in the team. I had Gonzalez 6, Peter Steph 7, and Valetini 8.
Wow. Bobby V has been brilliant. You talked about New Zealand being a dark horse. Australia have got serious talent in important positions. I went with you on some front five decisions. I'm putting my foot down on this. Matera, I love that guy. Defensive and with ball in hand, he's just a wrecking ball of a guy. Love him. And Peter Steph is just a world-class player. And I just can't have a team without RD Surveyor. And so that's our pack. I've pulled rank on that one. Knowing that was my position when we played together, Rich. I was back row. So I'm pulling rank on that one. I will be a little bit more lenient on the backs because this is where...
No, don't be lenient. Be harsh.
I will be looking to you. I'll be listening a little bit more to you on the backs than I would for the back row because...
fine. Yeah, no problem.
So let's go into the scrum half position. I mean, in the past, in the last World Cup, it would have been a Faf de Klerk, Aaron Smith shootout in the Southern Hemisphere. Are we still there?
I'd say it's between 2. And the 2 I had was, obviously Faf de Klerk. I think he is a phenomenon for sure, a real talent. But I'd say Nick White of Australia would be my number 2. If you want an all-round guy he's been so consistent. I mean, when he played for Exeter, he was outstanding in all areas, and he's just kept it going just for so many years.
So do you think Aaron Smith's stock has dropped quite a bit then? Because he was always, for a while, he's been kind of regarded as that number 2 behind DuPont. Are we seeing a bit of a changing of the guard?
No, not really. I think it's just age, really. Just that slight edge here and there's just gone a little bit. His pass is still world class. Great. He'll make great decisions. He'd be a good choice. I just don't think he is he was like the best 9 in the world for a while. I wouldn't say he's quite there. I think maybe even Cam Roygaard might even overtake him in this World Cup. Who knows?
That's a really interesting call. Comments, particularly if you're a Kiwi fan, is Rich onto something there? That's one to watch. Faf de Klerk is our 9 then, Rich.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
as we move
He's
on
in.
to fly half, I wonder if Bowden Barrett, I can't believe I'm saying this, does he deserve his spot in the New Zealand team? If he's there, I almost go, well, he's the guy. If he's not, then I think Richie Mwanga's been brilliant. I touched on it in the last video. If Andre Pollard had been fit and was just kicking metronomically and just oiling the wheels, I love him, and he's just the traditional 10. He's amazing.
10. So this one's really hard. This is the hardest one for me for sure. Like I say, if Pollard, if his body's all fit and he's not wobbly on his kicks, which he can be, it would be him. But I don't think we've had enough evidence for that.
Yeah.
I will actually go out on a limb here and say the best 10 I have seen this year is Damien McKenzie. He is absolute. Well, he's so confident at 10. He looks confident at 15, but when he's at 10, he just runs the show. He can slice a team apart, the click of a fingers. He's got the kicking game as well. He might not even start for New Zealand. He probably won't start for New Zealand, but I'll go for him. I'll go de Klerk McKenzie. Wow.
I just wonder at international level, the time you get on the ball is just, it's only a small amount, but it's enough to make a really significant difference. And I don't know if, it'll be interesting to see if DMAC can do that at the very highest level in international games in a World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced he'll be as dominant. This is a Rugby World Cup. And as much as we love the flair 10s, look down the years at the teams that have won a World Cup, and more often than not, yes, like players like Dan Carter can do it all, but more often than not, you get the 10s that have the solid foundations that every team needs. So I'm going Andre Pollard. There we go. Done.
I would actually argue, I'm happy with it, but I would just say, I would argue Damien McKenzie is a solid 10. His tackling's great, his kicking's great. It's just that he happens to have the flair as well. That's all I'm saying. But stick with Pollard. I'm
sticking with Pollard. But you've done a great job at making me think. Let's move on, and we'll do the centres then. What's the situation with Karevi? Is he fit and firing again, or is he still rehabilitating?
I believe he's rehabilitating, but should be okay.
Okay.
Look, I'll say it straight away. If Karevi's fit, 100% all day long.
Yeah,
all day long.
Yeah, he's in. Which the 13 jersey, Lekanyo Am of a couple of years ago, no question, it's easy. What World Player of the Year, in fact.
Yeah.
Where's he at? As you mentioned on the video we had before, his form hasn't been as good. Nevertheless, he's Lekanyo Am. I think Lekanyo Am's the standout choice. So there we go. Samu Karevi.
Yeah, I think so.
Lekanyo Am. Which that's pretty tidy, that. And then into the back three. And let's do it as a back three, because there are players like Buffelli, like Colby. Take your pick from the New Zealanders that can be accommodated anywhere. So we're looking for the best three players. I love Marika Koroibete.
So we want a finisher. So should we pick a finisher first, out and out?
Okay, yeah. Go on.
Yeah. There's a few here. Koroibete, Narawa has been tearing it up, but hasn't hasn't played for New Zealand. Vainganuku's looked fantastic this year. Cadero, Colby,
Mateo Carreras.
Yeah.
Curtly Arenz has been great.
Yeah, Arenz has been fantastic. Yeah, he was named down as well. Oh man, this is so hard. I would take Koroibete. I think I would, just on what he's done in the past. At his best, he is just a bulldozing bullet, attack and defense.
Marika Koroibete is in our back three. We've got two spots left, and we've got all those players you just mentioned and others. Emiliano Buffelli has been one of the best players in the world for Argentina, and he's been operating on the wing a lot for them, wearing the 11 jersey or fullback. I love Tom Wright as well. I don't think he makes the cut for any of this, but I just wanted to. I'm just mentioning some of these other guys that could slot in, because Willy LaRue is a great option at fullback.
I think Damian Willems is a hell of a player. Kicking, we're saying Pollard is fully fit and kicking like a dream at 10. Is that what we're saying? So
then the urgency for Boffelli
exactly
goes away, doesn't
that
it?
probably just falls off a bit. So I don't think he quite makes it.
Yeah.
Narawa, Fainga'anuku haven't played enough.
Yeah.
Arenz is close. I might pick Arenz actually, and not Colby. Between those two, who do you pick?
They're both absolutely rapid, frightening talents.
It feels wrong not to pick Colby, doesn't it?
It does feel wrong not to pick Colby. Let's go Cheslin Colby.
Okay.
But Kurtley Arenza, we'd be pulling him to one side on the training paddock and just saying, look, you're very close, keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. So who's our fullback?
Does your love of DMAC come back at this point? Or do you just look at Villy?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Are you thinking? I don't know. But then
no, it comes back.
Will Jordan's a freak of a talent.
Will Jordan is the man for me. He has not had the best run of injuries, but he is the talent at fullback. And hopefully, if he gets fit for this World Cup, I think we'll see it. If they start him at fullback, I don't think New Zealand will regret it. He's got absolutely everything. So he's my pick at fullback.
You feel like his ceiling is higher than maybe any other player at the World Cup. His and you can't pick on potential. You have to pick on what you've seen already. I think we have seen enough that it justifies the selection. But what is so amazing about Will Jordan is his ceiling is possibly beyond any other player in the back line at the Rugby World Cup. He is a rare.
Yeah, he just needs a run of games. I think simple as that.
100%.
Okay, so what's the team then, Tim? Read it out to me. What's the lineup?
The team is Stephen Kitsoff, Julien Montoya, Franz Malherbe, Ebenet Sabeth, Brodie Retallick, Pablo Matera, Peter Steph-Toy, Ardi Surveyor, Faf de Klerk, Andre Pollard, Marika Koromabete, Samu Karevi, Lakanyo Am, Cheslin Colby, Will Jordan.
Wow. Okay, here you go. Last question, Tim. If that team played as a team together, would it be the favourites to win the World Cup over France or Ireland?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they would. Absolutely, it would. I would love to see a British and Irish Lions side take on those four nations. That would just in a one-off
series. It would be series.
It would be awesome.
Make it happen.
And I think when you look at that, there's something in it for everyone. Yes, South Africa, I think predictably have come out with the most players, but it is spread fairly broadly. And Australia have got enough talent that we've even picked to suggest that they could do some damage. And don't rule out Argentina. And like you say, I think your analysis in the other video, which, as I say, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it now over at Rich's channel, Rugby Analyst.
Please do.
Your assessment of New Zealand as dark horses, I think, is absolutely on the money.
Yeah, it's crazy to say it, but I think New Zealand are a little bit underrated and underlooked in this World Cup. So watch out.
I'm buzzing for the Rugby Championships and for the World Cup as it gets closer. There's so much on every minute of every game. So look forward to this weekend. I'll be keeping an eye out for your content and your thoughts, Rich. And hit subscribe here if you haven't already. Leave your comments. Tell us where we got it completely wrong, or you're totally in agreement with us. And we'll see you on the next one. Nice one, Rich.